Facts and opinions. Facts and opinions is where we talk about something else that's going on in the world, and then we state the facts, and you give us your opinion. So we're gonna need you to chime in. Special guests in the house. All right. So Trump got in his feelings and started wanting to impose tariffs on the Chinese, and this was one of the things that he's always said that he wanted to do. A series of tariffs that he wants to impose on basically anything that's Chinese, right? Anything that comes from China, he wants them to pay 25%. That's going to make everything that we pay for go up. And with Chinese, 25% tariff is just too much. We export things to them, so in retaliation to what they did, they said, well, you know what? We're going to make you pay to us too. We're going to make you pay 25% for oil. And if we don't use your oil, we'll just go to Iran and get oil. U.S. seafood, number one thing that we export to China is soybeans. And soybeans are mostly done in Iowa. And Iowa was a big swing state in the election. And guess what? They voted for Trump. So, you should have did your background check on him. Okay.
That's how you feel.
Yeah, that's how I feel. We also export apples, whiskey, pet food, cigarettes.
Aluminum, steel, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so China filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization basically saying that America was bullying them and they didn't want to deal with that. So in retaliation to that, Trump said, how about we just leave the World Trade Organization? We don't have to answer to them. They're not prepared. They don't know what they're talking about. Just like all the other world organizations that he's leaving, he don't want to be a part of, or they're not shit to him. He thinks that we don't need them, and he's off. So the New York Times reported that Trump met with Apple CEO Tim Cook in May and said, oh, don't worry, the U.S. will not levy tariffs on iPhones assembled in China. Because if they did, guess what? Your iPhones would probably be about, I don't know, $1,700, almost $1,200, something like that. Right. Yeah. Right. So, he knew that would just make a fallout, because if you can't give people their electronics, that's just going to be in it. Well, so here's a chart that I found, right? This is how much we give them, and this is how much they give us as far as tariffs go. You really can't see this, but as you can see, computers and electronics, this is how much we pay in tariffs. And down here, you see it? You guys can see it. It's pretty obvious. It's really not that. It's just basically, this is what when they get stuff from us, this is how much they pay us, and this is how much we pay them. So when Trump, he's a deal maker or a business tycoon that he claims to be, when he sees stuff like this, he thinks, oh, you know what? We're paying way more than we're getting from them, and that's not fair, so I'm just going to tax everybody. The cost of a Honda Civic could cost $1,100 more if this, based on what he's saying. An Audi Q5 would cost $6,000 more. Initially, there were 1,333 items on the list that he was going to tax. Now there are 818 items. It does not include phones or TVs, thank goodness. So
that iPhone is protected.
You know what else is protected? Like some, I think like maybe handbags, something like that. Because guess who has all her stuff produced in China? The daughter, Ivanka. Ivanka has trademarked a few different businesses in China, and most of them do not fall within the category of things that are going to get taxed by her daddy, conveniently.
So he's pretty much just trying to have everything revolved around him and his family, pretty much.
Of course, everything is. Everything always is. Everything has been, and that's the kind of country that you get when that's the guy y'all voted for. So the people that are going to suffer the most here in the States would be farmers, cattle herders, because we give them a lot of pork.
So low-key the ones that voted for him, pretty much.
Low-key the ones that voted for him. Also, I think seafood, cigarettes, tobacco, all that stuff. Yeah. The people that voted for him are the ones that'll be hurt the most, but we tried to tell them. We tried to tell them. And you know, black people can't fix everything. Y'all want us to fix everything, and then we come and we vote for the people that are going to fix it, and then you do nothing but talk shit about us. You don't appreciate it. They're creating the problems, but we're the ones that have to fix it. That's just how it's been since the beginning of time, so it seems. So what do y'all think?
As far as what?
Is he bullying them?
Bullying?
I'm gonna have a shot. I know it's time for that.
I mean, I just passed my man's a Miller. I grabbed what was in the refrigerator.
Hey! It's J Black's birthday, and we're just chilling, and we're just chatting it up about, you know, everything
you
might be
immediate
up.
right to your foot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The slight tap. Yeah, I seen that.
So
Appreciate it.
Yeah, already.
the president's mantra used to be "Buy American and hire American." Y'all remember that?
No, I can't say I did.
So Harley Davidson was just like, yo, fuck it, we're out. We're not doing it. Fuck Trump, and you know, we're just gonna have our bikes produced elsewhere, because bikes were one of the things that we're gonna suffer the most.
Yeah, anything metal, steel, all that good stuff, it's gonna be affected.
So what do y'all think?
That's huge, Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson goes through an up and down period, like periodically. Like I'm not sure, like every 11 years, whatever it is, but every now and then, like you know, it's Harley is everything, and then you know they hit a downsize, like you know what I mean. So I mean that's always something that's going on with Harley or whatever, but it happens within the motorcycle community a lot.
In the car community.
You know what I mean?
I think that he thinks that if we back down, that we look like punks. And I don't know what people don't understand about the fact that a tariff is a tax. So he keeps saying he's never going to raise taxes. He's never raising taxes. But that is taxes. Because when the price starts to trickle down into the price of the goods, basically we're paying more, right?
Yeah,
I just
sure.
feel like people don't understand that, or they just don't want to understand that. They're just not hearing taxes, so they're just like, oh yeah, we're fine, pretty much.
Yeah. And I don't think people understand, like, when Trump supporters, you know, when you go to Walmart, because y'all love Walmart.
I love Walmart.
I hate Walmart.
Oh, you're a Target?
No.
Target.
I do go to Target.
Target.
But when you go to Walmart and the Dollar Tree.
Hold on, Dollar Tree too? Damn. Hold on, man. You saying too much.
Listen, I mean, look, I'm not beyond the Dollar Tree or Walmart. I'm just saying, Trump supporters, like out in Iowa and all those little places, that's really the only place you can go. I mean, we have options. We don't have to go to Target.
I'm saying, like, as far as Walmart, what were you getting into that? Like,
Most of those things are inexpensive because they're made in China.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what keeps the prices low, because they get them at a lower price because they're not being taxed out the gazoo, but now they might be. So they're going to have to get the stuff from somewhere else, and it's going to cost more money. So are you willing to pay more money knowing that you're not selling the soul of the country? Are you willing to pay more money knowing that it was made in this country? Do you care? You know what I mean? That's what the Facts and Opinions is about today. Because like you said, you think people don't know. You don't think people understand what's going on with that?
I don't think they do, honestly. They just say.
Because where would you find that out at? I mean, where did you learn about economics?
It's a self-responsibility.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Really?
It's not
I mean,
taught,
yeah,
so
you get a
won't know.
little hip pocket class, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, when you
yeah.
in school, but
Yeah,
I mean,
most
with
classes
real life,
much.
yeah.
Where did you learn about investing, saving money?
Honestly, from different
Yeah,
family
it's
members.
not taught.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're, like, you know, if your mom and dad don't really know nothing about saving, or your aunties,
That's it.
your
When you wanted
uncles,
that, when you wanted
know what I'm
that
saying?
new
Like,
pair of shoes, when you got
Yeah.
your allowance, that's how you.
Hey,
So, yeah, you're definitely gonna have to pay attention to that. Like you said, it doesn't stop when you get off of school. We should teach our own children and then learn to make decisions that will promote them starting their own businesses. Because it's not, like you said, Jay Black, you know, they basically teach you in school to be a worker. And even as a worker, though, I mean, if you, depending on what industry you work in, like the stuff that I'm talking about, like agriculture and production, you know, a lot of people work at places that assemble stuff, and the parts might be made in China, or you might be shipping it to China. And then you look, okay, this is what Trump is going to do. I might be losing my job soon. You just got to pay attention to stuff like that. So I was just going through Twitter just to see what some of the things that people were saying. And people seem like they're pretty pissed off about it, to be honest with you. And they're just going off on what the kind of markets that are going to be affected, and how Ivanka is getting all these Chinese trademarks and manufacturing things in China. It's not making us look good around the world, especially when he's saying stuff like we don't need the World Trade Organization and stuff like that. That's whack. You know what I mean? There's like kind of an oversight of how much we are influenced globally. And that's that. Oh my goodness. What about like Mexican stuff? Like Coronas. Speaking of Corona.
Yeah, they're gonna tap into all of that.
Well, I do like a good Corona when I'm eating crabs. I ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, they're gonna tap into all of that.
Yeah, that's true. Me too. I mean,
we'll see what happens.
Chinese people own a lot of shit.
They own a lot, and we owe them a lot of shit. So that's our biggest debt.
Yeah, we got. I was about to say our biggest debt is to China.
You know, and it's the numbers.
That's why I'm like,
it's just crazy.
It's kind of a shock that when he was like, yeah, like we're gonna tax them.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like you got to be careful.
What were you saying? Yeah, I think that
yeah, no problem.
they own a lot of like hair stores,
Chinese stores, nail salons.
And
nail
they
salons.
Commercials we can go to. You know. What I'm
We
saying?
know where they
Honda
are. They
stores.
have no commercials. They do not advertise.
They don't
On
advertise.
the cars we buy.
Like that's it.
You
Like,
know.
you know,
So this is also starting to affect the stock market. Once he made the announcement, the European shares, you know, overseas markets started to plunge, which eventually will affect the markets over here. People just need to understand that it is a global economy, and some of the decisions that he makes don't, you know, he says it's America first. I understand America first, but you have to understand that, yeah, that's not cool when you think about your retirement, your 401k and all that stuff.